Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the following AMC 8 2017 problem number 14. So let's start with a quick read. Chloe and Zoe are both students in Miss Demeanor's math class. Last night they each solved half of the problems in their homework assignment alone, and then the other half together. Chloe had correct answers to only 80% of the problems she solved alone, but overall 88% of her answers were correct. And then at the same time, Zoe had correct answers to 90% of the problems she solved alone. So what was her overall percentage of correct answers? So the question is basically asking that half of our test or half of the homework was done together, and then what percentage is Zoe's overall correct answers? Okay, so for this, the first thing I notice is the problem doesn't give you the number of problems in their homework assignment, right? They just give you percentages, which means it doesn't matter how many homework problems they had. So let's say they had 200, just to make numbers easy, right? So they did 100 alone, and they each did 100 together, right? Because when we see percentages, a percentage of 100 is always the easiest, right? Because it's just that number. So now we have Chloe, and we have Zoe, and then alone and together, right? And for a question like this, making a table can be pretty helpful, right? So alone, together, and then we'll say total, right? Because we have total percentage as well. So if there's 100 problems that they each do alone, and then they each do 100 together, so now we kind of just fill out this table. So it says Chloe had correct answers to 80% of the problems she solved alone. So 80% of the 100 problems she solved alone is 80. So 80 problems Chloe solved alone correctly. And then they tell you overall 88% of her answers were correct. So if in total we have 200 questions, we basically have to find 88% of 200, right? And this is just 2 times 88, which is 176, right? So in total, she solved 176 correct. And then now they say Zoe had correct answers to 90% of problems she solved alone. So Zoe solved 90 questions right, and we need to find this number right here. So this is basically what we've reduced our question to. And the key is, if I call this x, this must also be x, because if they worked on them together, then they got the same number of questions right. So I have basically 80 plus x has to equal the total number she got correct, which is 176, which just means x is equal to 176 minus 80, which is 96, right? So I could fill this in. So I get rid of x. That means that together, they both solved 96 questions correctly. So now if I need to find this, our question mark, which is basically the total Zoe solved correctly, that's not hard now because we have the alone, and then we just add how many they solved together, right? And that's just 90 plus 96, which is 186. So that means that the total that Zoe solved, let's write this in a different color, 186. And now we have to be careful. And if we read the question, they're asking for Zoe's overall percentage. So we just need to find the overall percentage. We know she solved 186 correctly, but how many total questions did she have? 200, right? We established that at the beginning. It was like a 200 problem assignment. 186 over 200. If I need to write it as a percent, I want my denominator to be 100. So I just divide by 2, and I get 93. 93 over 100 is the equivalent of 93%, which means that Zoe's overall percentage of correct answers will be C, 93. So that should conclude the question for today. If you have any questions on how we solved it, please leave a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. It really helps us out. But that should be all for today. So thank you all for joining, and I will see everyone again in the next video. Bye.